King Paimon, the ninth spirit of the Goetia. King Paimon is a king of hell and would like to be addressed as king. So that's King Paimon, not Paimon. He has a real ancient Mesopotamian feel to him, like a fire in the desert. Very sensual, mysterious, ominous. Often comes in with horns or the ringing of a bell, has a deep booming voice, and riding a creature similar to a camel. He may also be accompanied by two other entities, Jinn. His rank is king. In my theory about King Paimon, I feel like he's busiest in the spring. I'll explain that later. And then between the 11th of June and the 21st of June, he goes on holidays, so it's easier to contact him. His direction is the west. The House of Paimon is in the northwest. Of course, he is a daytime spirit. He's a very strong spirit, so you can't contact him at night or any time of the year. He's the strongest at day. I personally feel he's strongest at dawn or dusk. His tarot is a 10 of swords. He can help us with our sense of ruin or depression or being detached from reality. Basically, the source of mental suffering is being detached from reality. His planet is the sun, so he's directly related with consciousness. His metal is gold. Element is watery. It's very receptive. His color is yellow. Plant is bindweed. Incense is frankincense. Zodiac is Gemini. Interesting, his zodiac is Gemini, because we often pair him with the other spirit Astaroth. Particularly loyal to Lucifer, the angel Lucifer. He has command over other spirits, so being in good favor with King Paimon is surely a good way to control other spirits that are in your space at the moment. He can be terrifying, he can be sensual. Whilst color is yellow gold, representing sun consciousness, I feel like he's strongest in dusk and dawn, which is why I've got lots of reds and purples. To me, King Paimon is like when the sun is shining in the morning, in the beginning, at dawn, when we can see things for the first time. That's King Paimon. So when an object reaches our consciousness for the first time, that spark, that's King Paimon. Because after an object has arrived into our consciousness, our memory and our bias and our judgments tend to kick in, and we tend to be responding and reacting to something that's a figment of a relationship, or a figment of our imagination. Hence, he can help us clearly define what is real and not real by being in that receptive state of feeling the point where an object is entering our consciousness. He's also associated with listening. So I feel like it's a very receptive form of consciousness, hence associated with both the sun and water. Being in a King Paimon frame of mind, I feel very, very sensual. The benefits of invoking or evoking King Paimon: increased sensuality, increased listening. He's an ancient spirit coming from before writing, so he has lots of ancient secrets about consciousness to teach us. Helps understand illusion. He's known to help us persuade other people of our will, which we'll learn from listening and being sensual and matching their vibrations. He has also taught me about sexual healing, which I'll make videos about in the future. If you can connect with King Paimon, connecting with other spirits becomes much easier. So who was King Paimon? The traditional Orthodox text, he was a fallen angel from the Order of the Minions, so he was a high-ranking angel. Other Jewish sources tell us he was a chief demon. He's often confused with Azazel. So that's kind of interesting that a spirit we associate with sensuality is confused with intuition, which I learned the hard way this week. Paimon literally means tinkling sound. So a tinkling sound. They're very sharp when they hit into your consciousness. That's what King Paimon is like. So here is a sculpture or an art piece of Tammuz, the sun god, with his Sumerian consort Inanna. I felt like Tammuz was the closest Mesopotamian god that almost matches the feel of King Paimon, which is interesting because his consort is Inanna, Ishtar, Astaroth, and this eventually evolves into the fallen angel Lucifer. So this is maybe why King Paimon is so loyal to Lucifer, because in the past Ishtar was King Paimon's consort. So I just noticed the similarities in this Sumerian folklore to what we know about King Paimon. I am not going to say that they're the same, because this is the closest mythological character King Paimon I could find. So there used to be these sexual rituals where the priest would be Tammuz or King Paimon, and the priestess would be Inanna or Ishtar. In the Bible, they make a mockery of the story of Tammuz and Ishtar with Nimrod, and instead of being a consort, it's his mother and consort. So the Bible kind of messes up the story intentionally to make you dislike. The Bible basically makes you dislike other Mesopotamian gods to favor El and Yahweh, the favored Canaanite gods of the Hebrew people. King Paimon can be found in popular culture. Hereditary, the movie Hereditary features King Paimon. When I watched this movie, I was like watching it going, wow, I recognize these symbols, I understand what they're saying, I understand what they're doing, before I realized it was King Paimon. It's like, wow, cool, they made a spirit I can connect with, that's cool. There's also The Last Shift, which is a scary movie where the bad guys in the movie resonate with King Paimon. You can watch the movie and not realize it's talking about King Paimon, but you're in the occult, you recognize these things. And when the character says, the devil is still God's bitch, there's an older spirit than the devil, which is King Paimon. So King Paimon is definitely an older spirit than the concept of Lucifer. Yeah, and you know how I feel, like, I don't think, like, when you're making a horror movie or a movie and you're invoking these spirits, I think it's fine. I don't think it's insulting and disrespectful to demonize them for fun because it actually it exposes them to more people and makes people more interested in their energy current, because people secretly like the bad guys. I mean, human beings, we create drama fictionally, so we also obviously we crave drama in our real lives, which happens when you summon spirits. So this is my theory, based on connecting with King Paimon. I gave accounts of the orthodox definition of King Paimon, connected, showed a similar Mesopotamian spirit, pop culture. So this is what I believe who King Paimon is. I believe King Paimon is a spirit similar to Tammuz from Sumeria, but I believe King Paimon is coming from a nomadic tribe in Mesopotamia, similar to the Sumerians, but not the Sumerians. So this would be a culture that didn't write things down. I live in Malta, and the people who built the temples here didn't write things down. We don't know who they are. So it's that kind of a situation where we have this King Paimon coming from that time, and we don't know how much about him because he doesn't really need to. We don't really need to write things down. He's sensual. He's feeling. He's the breaking of the dawn, the first time an object enters your consciousness. Right, so this is like a nomadic people that they wake up at dawn and they want to travel as much as they can to get to their destination before 10 a.m. Why? If you live in the kind of climate I am in, you want to get stuff done before 10 a.m. If after 10 a.m. The sun is way too strong. So that's why I feel King Paimon is, and that's how I will continue to interact with King Paimon. But of course, you could invoke King Paimon and have a completely different experience to me. So yeah, King Paimon, camel, very beautiful, sensual character. So yeah, I did Sigil twice. This is the first time it got very messy. So the first time I evoked King Paimon, I couldn't see King Paimon. I could feel this yellow energy filling up the room. And when I closed my eyes and just listened to what voice appeared, King Paimon reminded me that I was planning to do a blood sacrifice and I didn't. I was planning to offer port and I didn't. And I meant to offer frankincense and he didn't. King Paimon wasn't angry with me, but he was just like, okay, the connection's not coming down that strong. But next time, but you're going to have to do this again and make those offerings. So we negotiated a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was like, actually do it now. Do the evocation again now. So I was like stumbling about, trying to still stay connected with King Paimon while stumbling about trying to find the things that I needed. So I got the frankincense. I tried cutting myself. I'm a banjo player. I find it really hard to draw blood because my skin is like immortal. But anyway, I had originally drawn the seal in yellow. Then I tried wiping my blood over the seal to try and draw it again with my blood. At least more blood came out than the time I sacrificed blood for Lucifer. Then I poured some port on the seal. Then I tried mixing my own blood with the port and drinking it. And that was obviously the first time I drank port in like 8 years. Of course, I burnt the incense. And then King Paimon came to me in physical form, much, much stronger. So King Paimon, as King Paimon came more and more into the physical realm, he became taller. His eyes were this whitish blue light. His robes And he was like, do I really need to sit on the camel? I was like, no, but the camel will be cool. And then the camel comes along. Then he's like taking up the size of the room. Quite big. He taught me to listen to myself. He taught me how to be aware of objects as soon as they arise in my consciousness. And that is one way to dissolve illusion. Because when the object leaves my consciousness, or it's just hovering, we have a tendency to start reacting with our minds and our emotions and our memories. And we're now interacting with our memory of the object, not the object itself. That was quite interesting. The evocation, he instructed me a way of using King Paimon and his chant Linan Tasa Jaden Paimon to do a sexual healing on myself, which has had very interesting results. In the future, I'll make a video describing this technique that I learned from King Paimon, the sex magic technique. But when I do this sex magic technique on myself, it feels good. I feel better, and it's easier for me to attract women. I was dancing with this woman, had a wonderful connection of just like feeling her, and then letting go what I wanted from her and just feeling her. It was very enjoyable. Another time, I was kissing two different women at the same time, standing in the road, and these cars were coming, and I was like, hell with the traffic, I'm not moving, I'm enjoying myself. So through King Paimon, I have been enjoying women on a much more sensual level, but that I have also learned there's a cost of enjoying women only in a sensual level. Is that the kind of women that you can freely enjoy and can have fun with no strings attached, are also bad long-term partners and can dump you and just not really give a shit about you because all they want is fun. So it's not so. While it's an enjoyable way to interact with women, it's not really want the long term. I thought I did a few weeks ago, but I'm like, okay, cool. Now through Goetia spirits, I'm getting a lot more sensual fun with women. I actually realize I still kind of favor heart connection and intimacy more than physical sensuality. But anyway. Yeah, so it has been a very interesting 10 days with King Paimon, and I think I will of course be practicing sexual healing technique that he's taught me, and I will do that every day, except for on days where I'm connecting with other spirits. I think I will keep King Paimon as my main spirit to connect with. For now. Linan Tasa Jaden Paimon.